Okay, let's expand just a little bit on the overarching strategic orientations of the business. We went over Porter's generic strategies that are generally broken into 3 or 4 categories. There's been expansions on this that help you understand more specifically exactly how your product fits strategically into a market. And one of the more popular or well-known models is the Bowman clock model that breaks down further. It basically gives 7 or 8 different strategic orientations. The first being the low price, low value product or service. In terms of product, you could think about this as the items that you encounter in, say, convenience stores or at the very front of large retail chains like Target, the $1 items at the very front. They don't have a great value proposition to them, but the price is so low that it meets that minor need, that minor want, and it makes it again a good value proposition for the customer or end user. Okay. There's a hybrid model or a combination that you have moderate price, moderate differentiation. This is generally when you don't have a great number of options within the market, but you believe your product or service has a minor degree of differentiation right in the same price range that allows it to be competitive among the existing products in the market. So you introduce it, and again it occupies that same market space, but there's sufficient market there that you can grab some. This is particularly useful when the customer segments are not overly attached to a single brand, or there hasn't been a company yet that has established a brand image that is incapable of erosion. So you throw your name into the pool and again compete there in those grounds. Again, you have pure differentiation where you have a product that or service that acts in some way different that sets it apart from others. So really comparing others to it, there's some element or aspect that other products or services cannot do, and that gives or does completely differently, and that gives an additional level of value to your product or service to the end user. Okay, again, you can do a focused level of differentiation where you attempt to target a niche market that is either not being served, or there's a way to differentiate yourself in that market to make a real presence. The question will be in that situation is whether the market, that specific target market segment, whether it's sufficiently large, whether you can generate the amount and type of value desired for your business by serving that market. Okay. Another orientation is the increased price but standard product. This is a common approach to companies that exist primarily on brand. The product may not be superior, or service may not be superior in any way, but they exist largely on brand, and that brand image allows them to charge a superior price for an average level of product. Their existence depends largely on the customer population, either gaining some advantage by using or employing that brand itself, such as self-actualization, that by wearing that you feel better about yourself, or this is the case with lots of luxury goods. They may not be superior in quality themselves, but their image, their brand contains that. Lots of service firms the exact same way. Take a high-priced law firm versus a moderately priced legal firm. The price range completely isn't comparable, but the services are relatively the same. Now in that situation, the brand or image is the only thing really differentiating that higher-priced legal firm. Okay, and then you have high-priced, low-value products. Well, this is only an available strategy for short-term cycles where there is an absolute lack of competition and there's a extremely high demand for the product or service during that time. So even though the product or service has a low value, it pushes you are able to charge for that temporary amount of time an extremely high price and take advantage of the market before others are able to come in and erode your market share and offer a lower price good. And then you have the low value standard price item, and again, this is only useful during short-term ranges because eventually that product will be weeded out. Customers will shy away from it. So again, something to remember about this is you don't want that product or service associated with your brand because it actually defeats a positive brand image more than it builds upon it. So anyway, these are just more precise segmentations of a strategic orientation that goes a little bit further than Porter's generic strategies that we discussed in a separate video.